So to find out how you can apply the concept of switching costs strategically and how to prevent your consumers from switching, you first need to understand what it is that makes them switch so you can avoid exactly that. At the same time, if you want to monitor your competitors, you also need to consider how much they would invest to make consumers switch from your business to their business. And we're now going to assess these questions based on two simple formulas. But let's just recap. What are the two questions we're interested in? Two questions are, first, when will a consumer switch to a new supplier? And second, how much should a supplier invest to make a consumer switch? So how do we think about these two issues? Well, the utility, the benefit that a consumer gets from switching to a new supplier basically consists of three parts. First of all, there's a utility increase from switching. So obviously the new product has to be better, the new service has to be better than the previous service. So this will be some positive delta, a positive increase from switching. Second, however, that's going to be reduced by the fact that you incur switching cost as a user. So the customer incurs some switching cost that is going to reduce the utility increase from switching. And thirdly, firms often give you some sort of goodie, some sort of special deal, special offer, special benefit if you switch, and that's the G. So taking this equality, under which circumstances will a consumer actually switch? Well, he's going to switch if the switching cost, C, is lower than the sum of the utility increase from switching plus the goodie that you receive from the new supplier. So this is basically the inequality that says if the switching costs are lower than this sum, people are going to switch. So let's look at this in a short question. So if your consumer's utility increase from switching is actually smaller than the sum of the switching cost and the goodie received from the new supplier, then the consumer will decide to switch suppliers. True or false? Good, so this was looking at the whole problem from the consumer's point of view. How much is it going to take to get a consumer to switch? Let's now have a look at the supplier's point of view. What are the profits for the new supplier from getting someone to switch? So we typically use pi as a symbol for profits. So profit for the new supplier basically consists of the profit increase from the new consumer. That's again the delta. So you have a difference between not having this consumer and now having him in your network, having acquired this consumer. The supplier switching costs, these are basically the costs that you have to incur to make the consumer switch, right? So these could be advertising costs, marketing costs, product development costs, and so on. Anything that makes the consumer want to switch. And finally, you also, and as I mentioned from the consumer's point of view, a new supplier has the option of giving a goodie to the new consumer. However, of course, the goodie here enters negatively, meaning that it lowers the profit because you as the supplier have to spend money, you have to spend time, effort, and so on to give the goodie to the consumer, whereas on the other side, it's something that goes directly positively into the consumer's utility because he gets the goodie. Now, looking at this again, from the supplier side, how much will a supplier invest to make a consumer switch? Well, again, taking the three symbols that we looked at, the three components we looked at, he's going to invest if the investment cost of getting the supplier to the consumer to switch is lower than the profit increase from the new consumer minus the switching goodie that you give to the new consumer. So let's have another in-video quiz, and I'll see you back in 1 second. Okay, so you now know at what point consumers are willing to switch and how much your competitors would want to invest to make your consumers theirs. Let's now use this information strategically in the next video.